I was very happy to accept Monsignor Antonicelli's kind invitation to visit Our Lady of Mercy this Sunday. I thought to myself, I haven't been there in a long time, and their luck ran out today. I'm also very grateful to have the chance to be with you to greet your two newbies, the new priests who have been assigned. I assure you they are very fine young men and that they will serve you with great generosity. The world of global diplomacy is an incredibly delicate enterprise, as we might all understand, and often frequently frustratingly so. Those who engage nations and political coalitions in diplomatic conversations and sensitive negotiations must be both skillful and at times very patient. As we continue to witness in our own times, progress in international diplomacy is rarely measured with great leaps forward, but usually only with gradual and sometimes small steps. Can you just imagine the thorough conversations that must mark progress in so many of the troubled spots in our world today? The careful dialogues that are intended to keep nations and people from war and from destruction are tenuous undertakings. Yet even the most skilled diplomat has to recognize when bargaining and compromise are no longer possible, because something fundamental cannot simply be conceded or negotiated away. Do you also want to leave? Jesus was always willing to understand people in their worst and most needy conditions. He welcomed sinners of all stripes. He was compassionate with the ignorant, the obstinate, and the timid. He always demonstrated an incredible ability to accept people for who they were. Yet when speaking about the Eucharist, even this immensely empathetic rabbi was unwilling to compromise his teaching. He seemed even to be willing to accept the loss of his own beloved disciples. There was no compromising the reality of what the Eucharist is. It was the threshold of faith that he demanded of them and of us as well, and it is not negotiable. It is difficult to grasp the profound truth of Christ's Eucharistic presence. In fact, none of us can fully comprehend how Christ is present in this most perfect gift of himself. The greatest theological minds in the history of the church have probed this teaching, and none of them have been able to explain it adequately. How can the Lord of the entire universe make himself present under the forms of bread and wine? And equally baffling is the question of why would he choose to be available for us under such signs? For after all, in truth, we have never distinguished ourselves as a people truly worthy of such a gift or treasure. No wonder the people of his own time considered this teaching a hard saying. It is impossible to understand either the gift or the reasons for the gift. Yet Christ was unwilling to compromise or to downplay the truth about the Eucharist. The blessings of his steadfast insistence on the Eucharistic doctrine is that the promises of the Eucharist must also be true. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him on the last day. To dine on the Eucharistic Lord is to enjoy the assurance of life eternal. That is the truth that Christ insists upon as completely as his teaching on the real presence. We are all destined to live with the Lord forever. You and me, here in Potomac, in D.C., and in all of the other places where Christ presents his Eucharist. That's the bottom line. That's what he was willing to allow his first disciples to leave over if they could not accept and believe this truth. Peter, who in the Gospels is as frequently the scoundrel as the star, today is the star. Lord, to whom shall we go? He realized that there is no other hope apart from Christ. For 5 Sundays every 3 years, the church listens to the fascinating story of the bread of life to be found in St. John's Gospel. And it all culminates on this Sunday when Peter speaks for all of us. Lord, to whom shall we go? No one other than Christ promises that we shall live forever. And that is the bottom line. The Eucharist is the pledge that we who dine upon the Lord of life are destined to live with him forever. It is a hard saying, but definitely a true one. And those who are to be his disciples must accept it unconditionally, without compromise, and as his final statement. Lord, to whom shall we go?